Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Mega Park here in Roller Coaster Tycoon. This is episode 15, and as you can see by the title of the video, this is Boston versus Chicago, or Boston and Chicago. I'm not sure what I'm gonna name it yet exactly, but it's kind of I like Boston versus Chicago. It's kind of a dueling coaster. I forgot which one I named which, but there's not really that much symbolism, other than the fact that they're dueling coasters. But I did choose the Giga coaster specifically because they had the taxi style trains available. And I guess with like Boston versus Chicago, those are both cities that would probably have a lot of taxis. I've been to Chicago. I know Chicago has lots of taxis everywhere, but Boston, I'm not so sure if they have, but it's kind of cool that they're both band names that are both cities. So I thought it was kind of a cool idea to kind of make it like a racing coaster, you know, kind of have them at least in the same area is what I wanted. But I was like, yeah, let's do some dueling coasters. I don't have any dueling coasters in this park yet. I don't think. No, I do have that wooden coaster that's kind of off on the side of the screen there. That's sort of dueling. It's still one coaster, but it kind of duels for about a third of the ride. But I didn't have any rides in this park where I have two separate coasters that duel. And I decided to go with purple and red, just to kind of match the main building and the main entrance, because I kind of went with a red and purple as my main colors. I really do think this color combination works really well as well. But again, I chose the Giga coasters because they have the taxi trains available, and I think that ties in really well with Chicago versus Boston. And I do have a Giga coaster in this park already, but it isn't a launched coaster. But it is purple. It's a different shade of purple. It was after the band name Deep Purple. But in this case, the colors aren't really symbolism. I just chose them because I think they look nice. And I decided to do these two coasters in this area because I kind of had the police and the cars, which is those other two coasters that I built in the last episode or two. I think it was a couple episodes ago. And I kind of did like a city theme, kind of, for the police and the cars. It was that mini coaster. So it's like, you know what, Boston versus Chicago, I kind of think that works really well with the city theme, so I kind of tried to put that in this area as well. So this is kind of the city theme of my park. I also expand on that blue Hyper Twister coaster that I'm kind of building around as well. That kind of ties in with the winter theme that I started last episode, I believe. I haven't looked at my episodes recently. I think it was last episode that I built that. And that one is called Arctic Monkeys. So that one kind of starts in the city theme, but then works its way towards the wintry mountain that I built previously. And yeah, here we go. I kind of go back and forth. I tend to do that a lot. So I built the dueling Giga coasters, and now I'm kind of diving into the Hyper Twister station. Yeah, but I kind of had to because they're both, the Giga coasters go right over the tracks. So I kind of had to work around that with building some buildings. And then I kind of like spread around some cities, like little skyscraper scenery pieces and those random buildings in that city theme category. I think it's pretty simple, but I think it's effective. And then also in this area, I'm kind of like working around the car ride and trying to blend this all together pretty well. I kind of left it open over there because I didn't know exactly what I was going to squeeze over there. But I did kind of I did have that red Giga coaster track kind of make a turn towards that car ride in that area. But now I'm actually filling it with foliage. I kind of like this idea of jam-packing a bunch of small foliage kind of randomly. Maybe have some little patterns here and there. I think it looks really pretty. And I think with like a nice simple car ride that I had over there, just a nice little garden of colorful foliage works very well. But yeah, and then I kind of go back and forth between building around the coaster and then going through the Hyper Twister coaster and then putting fences down. I tend to forget to place paths and lamps and stuff, so I'm making sure I keep up with that so I don't have to remember to do that later. Later in this episode, I also build a couple food courts, because I that's another thing that I kind of keep forgetting about, is building food stalls, drink stalls, and restrooms in my park every once in a while, and I want to try to avoid just simply placing a food stall down like on the corner of a path or just by itself somewhere. I don't mind that, and I think it wouldn't be bad at all if I did, but I kind of like to make like a little scenic area or a building of some sort, and I like to group up the food stalls together. Usually a drink stall, food stall, restroom, and then maybe something else like either an information kiosk or souvenir stall or hat stall, balloons, stuff, something like that. So yeah, built a couple food courts, and I'm just my main focus for this episode is the dueling Giga coasters. I also take a moment. So this park is pretty big. I think it's 250 by 250, and I only had one entrance in the park, and that was just on the edge in the middle, on one edge. But I decided to build a second entrance on another edge of the park. I kind of do it near the winter theme that I kind of did last episode. And my plan is to eventually have an entrance on all four edges of the park. Reason being is because I've noticed, like, with the spread of guests that enter my park, there's a lot of guests getting crowded near the entrance and close to the rides that are kind of close to the entrance. But then, like, you go to these coasters that I built over here, and barely any guests are getting over here. So I was like, oh, wow, well, let's build another entrance. Just to get a nice spread of guests throughout the park. But obviously, I'm not even I'm like 20% done with this park. Almost a quarter. So I probably won't build the other two entrances for a while. I might be able to build one of the entrances, but when I eventually get to the completely other side of the park, then I might squeeze in an entrance over there. But I also thought about maybe building the entrance, all four of them right away, and then I could just work around that and then make my way towards the middle. But I'd rather make my way towards the edge of the park instead of the middle. But here we go. Now we're kind of starting the entrance of here on the one of the edges of the park. I'm a big fan of using that mine theming, and I know I've used that mine theme in the past quite a bit in a lot of episodes. But I built a nice big plaza. I didn't do any scenery yet in this area. I just kind of did the path work and built some food stalls just for a nice entrance and an information kiosk in the middle. Next episode, I definitely plan on either next episode or 2 episodes from now. I often like to get myself prepped for the next episode. Built a lot of restrooms because that is the number one comment on the guests' thoughts. One of the top ones out of all of the ones to complain about is that there's not enough restrooms in the park. So I'll try to work on getting more restrooms and more food stalls and stuff. That's pretty much it for this episode. Just those 2 coasters for the main focus of this episode. I just do a lot of scenery basically for the last half of this video. Feel free to join the Discord. I always have that linked at the top of the description. Come hang out, share your Roller Coaster Tycoon stuff, or chat about Roller Coaster Tycoon, or you can chat about anything. There's many different chats in that server. You could chat about life, meet some other Roller Coaster Tycoon enthusiasts, and have some fun. I always do read the comments for sure. I do get notified for those right away, so feel free to comment whatever. I am down for suggestions, obviously. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.